All right, we are being live streamed on YouTube. Hey everyone, welcome today, Tuesday, November 8th in the US. It is election day, whatever that means, midterms, right? So welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I am your host, Lily Newhouse, and I am here today with the beautiful Dana Sacco. She's the CEO and founder of a seven-figure company who helps online business owners streamline their business for growth, as well as take back their time so they can step away from the computer and still have their business run like clockwork. So that is something that I am very interested in, not only knowing Dana, how you do what you do, but what it took from you and what it takes to build a $1 million brand. So I'm going to pull this up on YouTube and make sure we have visual and all of the things. Let us know if you're jumping on in the chat. Yep. Okay. We are live. Let us know if you're jumping on in the chat, say hello, whether you're watching live, or let us know in the comments replay. Dana, tell us a little bit about where were you at when you decided to start your company? What was kind of the impetus for you to go into business for yourself?
So it was actually, it was 14 years ago. I thank LinkedIn for letting me know how long I've been in business because I had no clue. But so 14 years ago, we were on our farm, and during that time, I went on an RV trip with two of my daughters, and I have 5 kids. So 2 of my daughters and I did a East Coast thing. We went from Virginia down to Florida and all the way back up to Virginia for months. I think it was like 4 months. And during that time, it's exciting, but at the same time, it was kind of boring, because kids have to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I started playing with working on what I knew how to do on my laptop. And I just I've pivoted a lot. So I really started with social media marketing.
Okay.
So I had done web design previous to that many years ago. And I just went into something because I overheard a conversation that someone was looking for someone to help them grow their Facebook page. So I was like,
you're like, okay, I can do that.
I can do that. I can help.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so it kind of snowballed from there. And we added in different things, and I've added in different income streams to it over the years. Which has added a lot of different little pieces and parts as I pivot and as I change different areas. So
So that's interesting because you talk about, having pivoted multiple times, and yet you're still really able to build a sustainable brand and company. And, one of the things that I've learned a lot is that when you build a brand and an audience, you have an unconditional following, so that when you pivot, you don't lose everything that you've built. Have you found that? What's your experience of pivoting? Because I know a lot of people, they start in one thing and then they realize, wow, my passion's really over here, but can I actually even pursue that? So I'd love to know kind of what's that like for you? What's that been like, and has it worked?
It's terrifying. It is. And as I've grown, it's gotten more terrifying.
Yeah.
But when I started, it was more sure I can do that. And with pivoting with different areas, it's all still been within the tech realm. So with it still being techie, it's kind of just like adding. And as I add, it's been growing. So, personally, I think it's totally worth it. But figuring out how to do that is terrifying. But when you do, it's like, whoa.
There's also liberating, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like one of those things that it's just like, oh my God, this can actually work. This is a hell of, I went from social media marketing into more blog writing and ghostwriting for people's blogs. And also what was I doing? I was proofreading English from Russian, it was actually a Russian company, and I was proofreading their technical manuals.
Oh my gosh, really?
So you can see that this like goes from one thing to another.
Wow.
So it's just been it's been a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's so many different things that you can do online.
Yeah.
There's no limit. There's no limit, and
absolutely.
there's no boundaries on it. So it's really cool.
That's freaking amazing. We have some people in the chat. Hello, Jill Cooper, the love of our lives, and Kendra Ferguson is here. Hello, loves.
Hey,
Thank
Kendra.
you guys
Hey,
so much for joining. Let us know how you're doing today. So that is so interesting. So it's worked kind of no matter what you've done. So what's been the consistent factors that are the reasons for your success? Because something you're doing is working.
A lot of it's just being me.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a point that I just, I just say I can do it. I've actually done, I think I have a blog post, or I had a post out there where it's been said, like, when men go into a interview, they'll just say, yes, I can do it. Whether they've heard of the dang system or not, they'll just say yes, but
right.
don't do this. And
right.
I read that probably, I don't even know how many years ago. And I was like, damn, I can say yes too. And so a lot of the times I don't know the system. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Wow.
And sometimes it's a learning experience, and sometimes I'm banging my head against a wall. But sometimes it's just like, whoa, this can like totally open a whole new door.
Wow.
And it's just a different way of saying an answer, really. And, doing this, I've been in tech for 30 years. And if you go back 30 years, women were not in tech. We were kind of very much to the background. And so being able to say, yes, I can do that. And it was just really kind of cool. And it was very eye-opening, and it opened a lot of doors.
Wow.
That probably would have been closed.
Wow. So it's almost like kind of that fake it till you make it confidence in yourself a little bit.
It is. There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Kind of, and I talk to my clients about building evidence for the story you want to tell, and that sounds like kind of what you've done, right? You said, can I do that? The answer is yes. Now let me build the evidence to show that that's true, right?
Right.
And kind of taping those leaps.
And it's a lot easier now than it was back then, thanks to YouTube, Google. I mean, we didn't have that. And so it was like, it was like absolutely amazing just to, as it's evolved, it's like, damn, I could go, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll figure out how to do it.
Wow. I'm the person, give me 5 minutes. I'll figure out how to break it.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you can't really break it that badly. Everything is fixable. So no matter what you do, it can be fixed. So it's gotten so much easier to fix things than it was so many years ago. And thank God, because I don't want to do the stuff in my, I'm turning 50 this year, and like hell, I want to do that.
Happy almost birthday. When's your birthday?
December 6th.
Oh my gosh, happy almost birthday. My boyfriend's turning 50 next week. You guys both look very, very young for your ages, if I may say so myself. So I would love to know, like, what has surprised you about your journey as an entrepreneur? What is not what you expected?
There's a lot. There's a lot. It's grown so much, and some of my journey, and this, even just, let's go to just this past year, where it's finding people now. I'm going to say it's since the pandemic that we're
Yeah.
finding people online where we can actually join together and we're helping each other. We're not fighting. Before
Wow.
it was very competitive.
Yeah.
With working online, it was, I remember going to someone's place and I took in my laptop and I'm like, this is what I've got for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got 5 other men that I'm going to talk to. Like, well, I wasn't a man. And so, but it was so competitive that it was like
Yeah.
$50 was going to make or break it.
Wow.
And so it was like, okay, well, and you felt challenged every time. And now it's
Wow.
more, we're recognizing everyone has a piece that they can do. You don't have to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can find other people. There's people all over that can do, each little thing, and they can
Mm-hmm.
help you with each thing. So
Right.
you don't need to do everything anymore.
Right. Right. So with that being said, does that mean that it makes more sense to specialize? Because I know sometimes, I know you do, one of the things you do is you coach VAs to build 6-figure businesses. And is that one of the things where specializing makes more sense now than it used to, or?
Absolutely, because you can build a team very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a one-off project or whether it's bringing them on to continue to work with you, you can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hiring someone to write copy for me. Why? Because I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah.
I just don't want to write it. I don't
Yeah.
want to write it so that it looks, I don't want to write emails all the time. I want to write certain
Yeah.
ones. I don't want to write other ones. And
Yeah.
so can you do this for me? And they're like, sure, no problem. And, it'll be done in 5
Yeah.
days. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I can handle that. I can do that. So
Yeah.
there's so much connection now
Yeah.
that there hasn't been in the past. And it's amazing. It's amazing
That's
to watch it
incredible.
grow.
I love the idea of just delegating to people who are in their zone of genius and letting them do the thing they're best at and staying in my little wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think that's amazing. And the fact that we have that opportunity now is huge. It's absolutely huge. I'm curious, what have been some of your biggest challenges along the way to $1 million brand? I imagine it was not always smooth sailing.
No, because every time that you start to do something, the world changes. The internet changes so fast, and people don't realize that. Where if you go back 14 years, sending people DMs was how you got business.
Right.
That's how you contacted people. You do that now, I'm blocking you.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not going to talk to you. You do that. It's just changed so much. And I still feel the pressure of 30 years of, doing this business as a woman.
Yeah.
I feel that in a big way because it is such a hurdle to overcome in this field, where they don't want, certain people are like, I'm not talking to you.
Wow.
And it's very generational.
Yeah.
And it's also very hard. At the same time, I say it's great to delegate things.
Yeah.
It's also very hard. Generation X, we did everything ourselves. I mean, entertained ourselves for hours with no problem. And, it was not that big of a deal. And so turning things over to someone else, it just doesn't always feel good.
That's the challenge.
That's a huge challenge to be able to do.
Wow. That's wow. Yeah. I think That's really interesting. And what you're saying, even just about the fact that some people just might not want to work with you just because you're a woman. I mean,
Mhm.
I know that's got to have changed a lot over the years, but still, even now dealing with that, it sounds like sometimes. And that's very much the nature of some of these industries, very, very much including the tech industry, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Let us know if you guys are on, say hello in the chat and smash that like button for us. That'll help the algorithm show Dana's beautiful face to more of the people in the YouTube world. So I would love to know, what is a piece of advice you would give to people who are just starting their own businesses in the online space?
You do not need all the tech.
Oh,
You don't need everything. We named this
okay.
laptop because,
Yeah.
I actually didn't have a desktop computer until 2 years ago.
Wow.
And I only got it because I had a space to put it. I'm in a closet.
Yeah.
This is a closet. This isn't like, you don't need to be fancy. You don't need
Yeah.
all stuff. And I think that we
Yeah.
get into it where we start thinking, and guys, I'm totally like this. I
Yeah.
want all the apps. I want all the stuff.
Yeah.
I want all the techie stuff. You don't need a new laptop. Mine was old.
Right.
I just bought a new laptop, and that's just because I wanted everything to talk.
Yeah.
That was actually the only reason. I have no reason to throw away my other one though, so it's still
Mhm.
operational.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
things work. Old things work. You do not need all the brand new shiny stuff. As much as
Yeah.
we shiny stuff, put a sticker on it.
Yeah.
Put a cover on it. Do something like that to make it yours, because
Yeah.
it's yours. So you don't need
Yeah.
it.
That's really encouraging, I think, actually, because, it does mean that we all have basically the ability to make $1 million in the palm of our hand, is what you're saying, right? And that's a really incredible time to live in. And not only from the palm of our hand, but also by being ourselves is what you've done, right? I mean, really putting yourself out there as who you truly are, saying, this is who I can help. This is what I can do. I'm fucking good at it. And let me prove it to you, right? And enough people let you prove it to them over and over, and then referred more and more people, and you prove it again and again, and here you are. Like, it's incredible. What would you say to people who are in the online space and, or coming into the online space as entrepreneurs, about kind of the noise and the feedback that you get being on social media? What has your experience been running a business on social media?
It's very different.
Yeah.
And we get very wrapped up into what others are doing.
Yes.
I want everyone to stop doing that. And I want myself to stop doing that. I can't take myself out of that equation, because I'll look at people and, even the people watching this, you guys are looking at it, they're like, it's 7-figure business. Guys, it's been 14 years. It wasn't overnight.
Right.
It wasn't,
Right.
And comparing ourselves to everyone else that's doing whatever they're doing at whatever price point they're doing. And I think that hurts, because we look at it all over the world as well. And we're like, well, virtual assistants are making $5 an hour over in the Philippines. And you know what? They're also making $50 an hour over in the Philippines. So it has to do with how they're positioning themselves. What do they know? Yeah, I mean, I worked with someone, I never even talked to her. And she watched my course on Upwork. She took my course there, and she sent me back a thing that says, I'm now making $50 an hour, and she's over, and she's booked out.
Wow.
So she's specialized in stuff. So we need to stop saying, we need to stop thinking about where you are in the world.
Yeah.
You need to stop, some people will care, they're not your clients.
Right.
There, this is the cost of living over there. Well, no, it's really not. You really haven't done your economic homework.
Right.
And there's other things that people say and do, and well, I can get it that's cheaper. Well, I can go to Walmart versus,
Yeah,
I'm going to say American Eagle.
right.
I was thinking of jeans this morning. And,
Yeah,
I can get the $7 Walmart jeans, or I can get the $50 American Eagle jeans. Well, which one looks better on me? And it's the American Eagle, but, whatever.
right,
So we
right,
all have choices in life, and
right.
it's all, I don't know. We just need to decide. We need to decide what you're going to do. Decide
Yeah, yeah.
what
So that's
your skill set is,
interesting. Yeah.
and go with what you want to do, and don't back down from it because someone will come in.
Wow. Okay. And so you talked a little bit about pricing, and I'm curious about that because if you're coaching VAs on how to set their prices, and what is the philosophy behind your pricing strategy?
What do you want to make?
Is that the philosophy, or are you asking me?
No,
Or
it's
both?
actually how, I start with, what do you need to make?
Okay.
What
Okay.
do you need to make to step away from whatever other jobs that you're doing? What do you need
Okay.
to pay all of your bills, to pay for your food, to pay for the roof over your head, to pay for your internet, whatever things that you absolutely need? What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you
Okay.
want to, and how many hours do you want to work? Because I don't want to work more than 20 hours a week.
Yeah, that sounds great to me too.
I don't want to work more than that.
Yeah.
Does it mean it always happens? No, but I don't want
Okay.
to.
Right.
I
Right.
want to work as little as possible.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Um, so it's a process, and so you start
Yeah.
with what you need to make
Okay.
and work your way up to what you want to make.
Oh,
Do it fast.
wow. Okay.
Do it fast.
Okay.
I tell people, you get 2 clients, raise it up. Your third client,
Okay.
raise it up. And then maybe, if those first 2 are not your ideal clients, you start to maybe phase them out. It depends on how you're working with them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If it's like a long term or a
Right.
project
If it's
okay.
monthly, a lot of virtual assistants were working on monthly hourly rates. I hate that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I really try to get people into projects of what are you going to do for them each month? And this is the deliverable.
So it's a
Instead
matter of the value instead of trading the time for money.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's one big way to scale your income, right? Is by trading money for value instead of money for time. Is that kind of what I'm starting to understand in this space? Is that accurate?
Yes, it's very
Okay.
accurate if you combine everything. And what's nice with virtual assistants is after about 2 months, you know what you're delivering to them every month.
Uh-huh. Right.
You know what you're delivering, so you can actually build a package specifically for that client and make them feel special, that this is what I'm delivering to you. This is a package that I'm only offering to you. I'm giving you
Yeah.
this, and this, and it's going to be this set amount. So you don't have to worry about how many hours I've worked or anything else. You don't have to worry about it. It's on me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I'm starting to, understand very quickly as my schedule fills up how much that value trade makes sense. That there's only so many hours you can work. And ultimately, if you want to scale beyond, 6 figures a year, you're going to have to find another formula, right? So that's interesting that you say, get a couple clients, raise your price, get a couple clients, raise your price. How have you like historically determined your prices and when you raise them? And you can be as honest as you want.
It will be, because I started out at $15 an hour and I thought I was the bomb.
Wow.
I thought I was the shit doing that. I was like, yes, I'm at $15 an hour. I was booked in a heartbeat. Well, no shit, I was.
Yeah, right.
Looking back now, I'm just like, I'm an idiot. So I raised it up to 25.
Mhm.
I did the exact same formula that I just said. Every couple clients, I would raise it up. I stayed at 45 for a while, where I got exhausted.
Wow.
And when I got exhausted, it was too much. It was almost at the point that I was going to shut down.
Wow.
And so then I was told to, do the same thing that I'm saying, is package it instead of doing, hours.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to increase my income with working less.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted to
Yeah.
do. So then I work on Upwork a lot. And I think that the funniest thing I did, and I think it was the most telling, was I had my rate at 75 and I was getting clients on a regular basis for what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't want to work anymore for a little bit. So I put a 1 in front of it. So I was at 175 and people were still asking for me to work with them. So it's like, well, there's some sort of like thing here that I was like totally missing.
Oh my God,
So,
you're amazing.
it absolutely cracked me up. It was probably one of the funniest things that I had ever come across. Because
That's incredible.
I didn't realize. And
Yeah.
so I just kept raising it, and now it's at $250 an hour if you do an hour, but I don't do hours.
Right.
It actually,
Right.
after a couple conversations, it probably just doubled. So
Yeah.
um
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about running your own business is if you're like, I'm sick of this bullshit with
mhm.
75 an hour, you can throw a 1 in front of it and hope that nobody books you. And then when they do, you throw a 2 in front of it instead. Right. And see.
It's just really
you.
weird. I mean, if you market yourself well and you talk well, I've been hired because I have purple hair.
Wow.
Honestly, that was why I was hired.
I'm dyeing my hair tomorrow.
More than once. It's just because my hair was purple. So it was very strange. But I was like, okay, I'll do that. And people are looking at value. They're looking at what you're going to offer them. They're looking at honesty. Right now, they are looking, and we touched on this at the very beginning, so I'm going to bring it back up because it's been on my head a lot this past week, is that they're looking for authenticity, and they're looking for you. They're not looking for, no one is looking for eye to eye hype. No one.
Right.
Knows the name. They don't know how to spell it. I was drinking when I came up with the name. It made perfect sense in my head. The next day after I'd already registered the LLC, it didn't make any sense to me, but I was just like, I just spent $250 on this name. It's stuck.
Yeah. Right.
No one looks for it.
Yeah.
Look for Dana. They're looking for Dana. They're looking for Lily. They're looking for your name. They're not looking for the company name.
Right. Right. So that whole, like, I need this whole brand, that, focusing on all of that. It's like, no, just be you and do your shit and do it well and charge accordingly.
People that have gotten like totally stuck on the name of their company. I'm like, you
yeah,
have a name, use it.
Yeah. Exactly.
They will literally freeze up. They cannot come up with a name. And so they can't think beyond that moment. And, between my husband and I, we have 3 different companies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this one that I came up with. It's his name. Mm-hmm. And it's our initials.
And that's it, right?
I mean, guys, we've stopped being creative.
Yeah, right. Don't overthink it, right?
It's a lot of, I think people overthink everything in this when they go into this. And if people start talking to me, they'll realize that I'll come up with an idea and we're throwing it on the internet today.
Wow. I love that. That's how my energy works too. It's like, if I come up with something, I'm ready to like show it to the world. If I wait a month, I'm like over it by then.
I mean, it's like the whole Black Friday thing is like, okay, I've come up with the idea. Let's make it happen. Okay, well, Black Friday's in 2 weeks. I'm like, I have to wait.
That's me too.
I have to wait. I'm like, okay, I'll hold on and I'll do it that week because I have other things I want to talk about for the next 2 weeks. So, it's
right. But it's like being
very
a
tough.
creative, right? You're creative. You want to share what you're creating with the world. What you're talking about is so interesting. Jamin's in the chat now. And he says amen to what you said. And he and I were talking today about how I was thinking about doing some longer streams. And I was like, oh, I've been told that lighting and audio are the most important. And what do I need to get? And this and that, and overthinking again. And he's like, you know what you need to do? Turn on the damn camera and start talking,
Did we not just talk about that yesterday with the reels? And you're like, you need a cover, you need all this, you need all this. I'm like, no, I have my shirts in the background that I switch into so I can batch. I do batches of 6.
Yeah.
Why? Because I have 6 shirts.
Keep it simple, stupid.
I don't do cover sheets. I don't do covers.
Oh my
I
God.
don't do anything fancy.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that. I love your idea with going the live and just working.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Doing
love that.
some
I'm totally
co-working.
stealing it. I'm totally going to steal that one. Because
I love
think
it.
it's so cool. I think it's so cool. And it never, and it was actually you and I had the talk where you told me I had to, what was that? I had a note on here of what I had to do from Lily. I don't know.
What's your
I have a
homework?
note somewhere, Dana, you're supposed to do this.
When you find it, let me know.
I think it was like a day in the life of Dana or something like that. It was showing it's like to actually, and you guys are going to see that I don't do as much as y'all think I do. I like, Jill and I talk a lot.
Day in the life of Dana is mostly talking to
We're
Jill on Facebook Messenger.
Facebook, guys. You guys get to see my Facebook on that day.
That's freaking amazing. Oh my God. Oh my God. So let us know in the chat if you have any specific questions for Dana. Dana, let us know sort of what is next for you. You've built this business. You have this presence online. You have a following. Where do you go from here? What's next for you? And what does that look like for people who are aspiring to be where you are and beyond?
So I'm taking it to another level where we are. It's terrifying. I'm actually going to be coaching, and I actually opened it up a little bit more than just VAs because I realized that VAs don't all say that we're VAs. I mean, technically, I'm a virtual assistant. Technically,
Interesting.
I
never would have thought of you that way.
I haven't called myself or thought of myself as a VA in years. I actually didn't know the term until 2019. I had never heard it. And so I opened it up to online service providers, coaching online service providers, how to get to 10K a month in 3 months. Because it's a whole lot easier than you all think.
Wow.
And I've done that. And then on top of that, because I am a geek and I absolutely love tech, I am also doing it is email marketing system specifically towards financial pros.
Okay. Awesome.
And can it be altered? Yes, because I'll get bored with financial pros really quick. So it can be done, but it's an email marketing system because I'm finding a hole. I found a hole where, and this is any type of online business, find a hole.
Okay.
Because all of these businesses, I don't care what business you're in, everyone's getting leads. That's the whole thing that you're doing on Facebook or whatever. But then 44% of people, I read the statistic, and I checked it out like 5 times today. So 44% of people do not hire the service provider they originally contacted because they did not follow up with them. 44%.
Wow.
That means if you contacted 100 leads this month, 44% probably would have hired you if you had talked to them.
Wow. So this is a huge gap in what something's falling through the cracks for a lot of us business owners online.
Right, because we're relying on the internet. We're relying on DMs, we're relying on messaging people, we're relying on all that. And then we get them their lead magnet, and we might have an email sequence after that, but then we never talk to them again. We don't have anything really beyond that. Of when do we reach out? When do we talk to them? When do we do this? When do we do that? And I went back and I looked at every single one of I have a lot of certifications because I think they're fun. And it used to mean something. And so in my head, it still does. That you have certifications for stuff. And with that, I'm laughing because Felicity is changing our theme for our chats to Stranger Things because she says that that's more arch nemesis. But
oh my God, because she's your arch nemesis.
Yeah. As I'm working with her. But we have all of these certifications, we have all of this stuff. And I went back through, and every single one of them made a comment that I should be a marketer, that I lean towards marketing. And I do. I lean towards marketing. Why? Because I've marketed myself and my businesses for 30 years.
Yeah.
You don't get to this point without talking about yourself.
Right. So, you got to get comfortable.
Right. And you have to get in a position and finding a hole, finding that sort of thing. I'm going to take that and kind of mold it into what I want it to be able to help other people grow so that they're not, those 44%, you guys should be talking to them. I mean, I got hired by 2 people that contacted me over a year ago and got on my email list, and they respond to email and say, I need this. Yeah.
So what would you recommend to online business owners who have this problem? You have a solution, right? What is the solution to this?
You need an email marketing system and strategy.
Okay.
You need a plan. I'm the worst plan. So I can plan for everyone else, but don't ask me to plan for myself. But I have an idea of what I'm going to do for the next month.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Does it mean it's going to change? Probably. I mean, even that, I deleted the email that was supposed to go out today, and I scheduled it I scheduled a totally different one, rewrote it all for tomorrow because I needed to do that. But you need to follow up with people. You need to have some sort of progression so that they know that you're still there, and you're not just throwing sales crap at them constantly.
Yeah.
This is not about sending them all of your sales or all of your new items. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's going into the promotions, that's going into whatever. You're telling them a story. I heard that the other day and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty damn good. We're telling them a story constantly, whether it's every week, every other week. I know one person that sends out emails every day.
Yeah.
I'm not that good. But telling them a story about us. And again, it wraps all up into that, is that you're not selling the name, you're selling yourself.
Right. And what is that story telling them? What's the story that you tell them?
Sometimes it can change. Sometimes it's helpful advice that you've run across. For me specifically, I'm dealing with systems. So I talk to them about organization. I talk to them about delegating. I talk to them about even sometimes it's things that I found out. Hey, I found something that works. I'm actually discussing this exact same thing tomorrow, and live, the email marketing strategy and how to set it up. I'm talking about that tomorrow. And that was actually the reason why I had to redo my whole email thing, because I was like, I found this hole and I'm finding it's growing bigger and bigger.
Wow. Okay.
Last week, I think it was Instagram had a glitch, and all over Facebook, everyone's panicking. I lost my Instagram account. I lost, my 45,000 followers. Well, why don't you have their information?
Right. Where's your email list?
Right. You need to own something, and you need to own your people that are following you.
Yeah, you have to have their information. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, and that's one of the things that I'm, hiring you next for too. So is, nurturing people in their inbox. Because I think that's, like you said, like where you don't have to beat an algorithm, the newest email just goes to the top. You reach the people who want to hear from you, right? You can consistently nurture that relationship, remind them that you're there. And then when they need you, then they know who to reach out to, as opposed to, oh yeah, I heard that person once, we met once, but there's someone else now that I've seen more recently. And so I go with them. Right.
Or this person only sends me stuff when they want money.
Right. There's no nurture. Right.
There's
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay, Dana, before we close, I would like, well, two things. I would like you guys to drop a 1 in the chat if you guys have enjoyed listening to Dana today. If you guys enjoy hearing from women in tech, if you enjoyed this, if this is valuable for you, drop a 1 in the chat. And my question to you, Dana, is one piece of advice for my audience, which is, a blend of poker players and CEOs, poker players who also essentially are running their own businesses, in the poker world. So what is one piece of advice that you would give my audience from your experience, whether it's your 30 years in business or your 30 years of life outside of business? What would that be?
Go with what you feel is right. It's not just, you have to go with what you feel is right. It's not necessarily a gut feeling all the time. It's not necessarily, you might not feel like you want to, but it's right. And there's definitely a difference with that. I can shoot as a mom with 5 kids and has dealt with everything and it's always go with what feels right, because once you finish what you were just about to do, you are okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Go with what feels right. Thank you so much. I love that. Absolutely. Thank you guys. We got some 1s in the chat. I think everyone found this really valuable. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are watching on the replay, let us know you found this valuable in the comments as well. Always love to see you and get back to you. Dana, would you mind, Kendra asked in the comments, what time is your live tomorrow and where can we find you tomorrow?
I'll actually be on YouTube,
awesome.
As well as on Facebook. It's going to be at noon Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome. All right, awesome.
So I don't know if we can drop links in here or not.
Yeah, I should be able to drop a link in the chat.
I don't know. I haven't done YouTube yet, like live. So this should be fun.
Yeah, here we go. It's the first time. I love YouTube. I'm much happier over here.
I like this. This is kind of cool because it's like the chat actually works.
Right? I know, right? I know. So, okay, so you're live tomorrow, and then how can people work with you? What are your current offers right now, or is it just we contact you and you kind of, I know you you'll build a project custom as well, right? So
yeah, I do. danasacco.co.
Okay, awesome.
That's like here. I'll type it.
Type it for me. Give it to me, baby.
Because if you do the call me, then I can pretty much, because not everything's on there just yet.
Okay.
So it has some of it, but it's just easier to just call me.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dana. This has been really wonderful. You're such a freaking cool, amazing human. And I'm so glad that you exist in the world and that I found you in mine. So thank you so much. Aw, okay. Well, thank you so much, guys. Let us know this was valuable. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll get back to you in the replies, in the comments, and all of the things. Drop a link in the comments too. Yes, we will. Dana, I'll have you put in the comments on the actual video your link. So we will, yeah, we'll absolutely do that. Okay, thank you guys all so much for watching. It's wonderful being here with you. We'll see you all next Tuesday at 1:30 Pacific time.